I'm not a big fan of Haya against Esme. It sucks. Like you're not.
Your hits are gonna get shielded.
Yeah, he doesn't care about the shadow kill. So Bruno gets picked up. Haya, Lucas, or Hanzo.
No this is a good situation for the Lucas.
No more Lucas, please. I don't care if it's a good.
I like the Lucas.
I don't want
Lucas
anymore,
see that.
I like the Lucas.
I don't like you anymore.
All right,
I like you a little less.
Yo,
now.
Alpha is a good answer against the Fredrin. Lucas is a better Alpha.
Our analysts are in the clash here between the
Okay,
Lucas
so they go for the Joy.
and the Haya, but they go Joy.
That is so brave against a Moskov and a Fredrin.
You just go Badang here, honestly. Badang, Kufra, Arlet, Belleric.
Yeah, there's a lot of picks that Kaloy can pick up that you cannot go wrong with at this point.
Yeah.
I would pay to see a Belleric
Yeah,
here.
even if you decide to go pick off like a Cho, maybe even no.
Yeah, dude, swear to God, any.
Go Kaja. Any pick up, even a Franco, I would not mind.
Any roam.
No Arlot roam?
Any.
We said high loss earlier.
I mean,
You said any!
bro, okay, sorry. Any that has a crowd control. Bro, what is this?
He has crowd control, but I guess you're thinking it's a little slow on the input.
Okay. Here's the thing. It wins the level 1 matchup against the Kalea and the Farsa. Yeah. I've seen this matchup before. But it suffers level 2. It sucks against Kalea.
Okay, okay.
Because when you use the enhanced basic attack, and even if you want to heal, you're sort of just like, hey, look, you can tsunami slam me.
Hey, you can hit me with your normal.
Yeah.
You can charge up your skill. And let's see if lightning strikes twice here.
Yeah, the idea here for Twisted Minds is you have an incredibly impactful early game lineup with the Zushin, Khalid. You can rotate with the Fredrin, steal some of the green camps. But if they fail the early game, for example, they lose the mid lane to both Brusco and Super Prince. That's it. You don't have a roam anymore.
Oof. All right. So without a roam, I guess you could sub the Fredrin in a little bit. Then again, that is going to be problematic.
Okay.
That level 1 power spike, though, really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, that's one of the old combos. Khalid and Juicin together, just really good at bullying the center of the map. At level 1, you can ride that on up until the first turtle comes up.
Goodness.
Then it gets a little bit more difficult.
They don't even contest the Surge of Life procs from Brusco. This is effectively a lost mid lane, honestly.
Okay, so we're going to see some all-time hero stats. Number one, obviously, on the Fredrin. I'm not surprised. I called this even before the match started. I knew he was going to pick it, and there's proof. This is proof in paper.
Nani kore? He's number 1?
Stats don't lie, bro.
That's no lie.
Sensui is statistically the number 1 Fredrin in MPL PH history. That
Career hero.
He's the best Fredrin in the Philippines.
Okay, let's go. All right, if we saw Carthes and the Lancelot get a W later.
Oh, man.
Sensui, Fredrin Sensui. I forgot his full actual name. I will remember it later.
Is Carl Teasy Sensui?
Stephen Castillo.
Stephen Castillo, yeah. If
Stephen Sensui, Stephen Fredrin Castillo. There we go.
There you go.
Oh.
I bet Carl Teasy is watching this. I'm like, wait a second.
No.
That can't be true. I need a new goal.
Carl Teasy's eyes twitching somewhere.
Yeah, Coach RC, 5 Fredrin games in a row.
Yeah. Really good spot here by Twisted. How they're holding around the shrubs.
Yeah, it's going around here. And that's beautiful.
What? That is risky. Sensui taking a lot. Brusco decides to flicker out. Here comes the answer back by Twisted Minds. First blood right away by Sean onto Brusco. King Kong trying to get kills with the electrifying beats, but it just gets countered by Twisted.
All right, I guess we're seeing the reason why they picked up this hero on Rome.
Yeah, I mean, the answer is you bring in the numbers against Onic. Again, you're much more powerful in the early game. Even though they lost mid, there's no effective response from Onic to deal with the Khalid of Kaloy.
Yeah, this Khalid definitely doing what it's supposed to do here. We're seeing if it's possible to do more. Maybe they can do more invades here. I think that's what they're eyeing right now.
Yeah. Invade, river control. Typical Khalid things with the Juicin.
To be fair though, I think the biggest part of why Twisted is able to maximize the early game prowess, this Esmeralda is effectively killing the rotations from the XP on Onyx side because the Lapu cannot rotate. You saw how quick Lance was able to get towards the mid lane, land the Falling Star Moon onto 3 heroes on the side of Onic, and you saw Kirk just pushing down the enemy shields on a tower on bot side.
Yeah, despite our feelings towards Khalid pickup for Kaloy, Twisted Minds have played their lineup very well so far with the advantage through the EXP lane, the initial advantages they get to the center of the map. And, well, even Sensui, I thought he was getting a little bit greedy in the mid lane, but then that was actually part of the plan. He was pulling attention to him for the eventual backup that Twisted Minds provided for the Fredrin.
Hey.
Oh, Brusco, wait, decides to go in with the Tsunami Slam, jumps in as well. CC immune is this juice in. Kaloy gets jumped on, but then he jumps onto Brusco back for the clapback counter. So much crowd control dished out onto the Bruiser. He gets taken down again.
I've been very vocal with why I hate Fredrin. That's basically it. 8 seconds of crowd control on a hero like a Kalea.
I guess
it's not fun.
Yeah, it is. I would hate to be the guy on the receiving end of that one.
Yeah.
So I get what you mean. I also see the damage output of the Khalid in that situation. It's also you're just swimming in desert tornadoes.
Yeah, but Twisted though. That's also them knowing that okay, Onic does a lot of like the Sigma rotations, wherein King Kong shows up in the middle lane. They try to take a pick off. For the last 4 minutes, they've always been in mid. Twisted Minds is ready for King Kong.
Okay, Onic is ready to fight. Feather Dash Right comes out from Super Prince. Kaloy is able to use his ultimate to get away. Sean gets taken down. That's going to be 2 kills already for Twisted. Make that 3 double kill for Kirk. And here comes the sudden turnaround. Kirk lands the stun as well with a Land Shaker. Lanzu holding on, but look at all the shields that he can hit. But despite him being able to sustain, he does not have the damage to survive and win that fight. Onic will get this turtle.
Take away the shields. There's still another source of HP from Onic. It's the Surge of Life coming out from Brusco, and also the perfect Feather Strike from Super Prince, starting that fight, making sure that Twisted Minds have to choose, do we fight or do we go away? And King Kong just showed up with the electrifying beats.
Yeah, we're starting to see that Onic team fighting, that mid-game team fighting we're seeing. They're so known for, they're so famously known for all around the world, and it proves to be very difficult for Twisted, despite having a little bit of a lead in the early game.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, even though Twisted Minds, they had a good early game, they don't have the resource to fight it out against Onic. They haven't capitalized on the lead that they had earlier. Sensui is actually 1,000 gold behind compared to King Kong.
Yeah, the prolonged team fight's definitely not looking good here for Twisted. We'll see if that's going to change as we do see Nausea being relatively safe on top, though.
Goes in right away, finds Sensui, and Sensui is able to get out. Twisted Minds backing up the Fredrin right away. Brusco will use the ultimate alongside Super Prince.
This is a lot of time bought, though, for Onic. Like, even though there's a Moskov on the side of Twisted Minds, you still are dealing with 3 damage dealers on the side of Onic. Matter of fact, make it 4. Like, there's 4 cores on the side of Onic.
Yeah, on the other side, Twisted Minds has 4 utility picks that is supposed to just supplement Nausea's Moskov. I like how Brusco was recalling in front of the bush, sort of to tell Twisted Minds, yeah, I know you guys are there.
They know, they can sense it. Brusco has a 6th sense about it.
Retry used.
Yeah, just for the crab.
Yeah, I mean,
they'll be back in time.
It's going to be back for 25 seconds. It's going to be good.
Brusco goes in again with a title strike. Feather Dash Strike by Super Prince, and it is free for him. Sensui gets taken down easily by Onic, and Kurgan going to TP in front of the tower. And Onic is going to be able to take down the tower in Kelra's lane. Nausea throws out his ultimate. I was able to hit the siege minion.
Yeah, I was able to defend, but even then, this tower is effectively dead.
Yeah,
that's gone.
Kelra's cutting the wave, and because of that kill, now Onic is poised to just take the turtle. Shondo in mid. Careful.
Yeah, Sean's getting a big beating here. Ooh, we're seeing such good sustain from Onic. They seem to be just carrying this momentum all the way into that mid.
Feathered airstrike, and Kaloy goes in with a Raging Sandstorm to stop Super Prince. Sean almost gets taken out single-handedly by the Feathered Airstrike of the Farsa. Both mid laners will back, and that slows down the take of the turtle for Onic just by a little bit.
You see how fearless the Monster Mage is. Didn't even flicker out. He knew they didn't have the damage to take him out. Nausea on the top lane will try to find a trade on the tower, but they don't have the time to do so. Onic quick with a response.
Right. At least Kaloy is on the pulse here, especially when Twisted is looking like they're out of position. You know, there's some good, some good 6th sense happening as well for Twisted, making sure they have full knowledge of where the Onic members are. But again, it's one thing knowing where Onic is. It's another thing dealing with what they're gonna do.
Truth. Fredrin's 2K behind against King Kong's Joy. Yeah. This is very worrying for Twisted Minds. The Bruno as well. is so massive at this point. Onic Philippines could just take over towers with a feathered airstrike zoning.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Super Prince is doing. SOD is going to hit, but it doesn't look like the Moskov can commit it. Kirk already using the Raging Slash. Twisted Minds able to defend their tower in the mid. But here comes more minion waves for Onic. Round number 2. Is Onic going to be able to take down this tower finally? They're going to focus down Kaloy with a Raging Sandstorm. Perfect entry by the Khalid. And it looks like Onic are crumbling. King Kong with the damage left behind as the Juicin takes down the Bruno. And the Esmeralda takes down the Kalea.
That was excellent landing there of the Raging Sandstorm.
Yep.
And Brusco could not even deal with it. Without the healing from Surge of Life, it looks like they're really, really squishy.
Yeah, it looked like Onic were in position to actually reverse that team fight. King Kong, he found a good opening on the backside. Unfortunately, this is the tactical advantage of having a Fredrin against Joy. It's kind of hard to find positioning up against a walking crowd control.
Okay, Landshaker almost gets Sean a bit low, but again, they don't seem to be too worried here. Item check looks like it's not too far off on XP, and the gold lane. But the mid lane is definitely a different story here.
Yeah, with Sean getting Sky Piercer, you're going to see Twisted, and especially Sean, try to get more kills. Because that's going to be one of their engines for their potential bigger power spike as we head into the late game, if the Juicin can get more stacks. The Sky Piercer, Flicker, Tidal Strike, right in the face of this Juicin! And Kaloy with a counter, Raging Sandstorm! Kaloy still under tower, and the Live Counter is able to free hit the stun from the Landshaker to set up Kelra and Kirk for more kills in favor of Onic. Just like that, 3 members taken down. Super Prince sees the Moskov. Is he going to try to 1v1 him? He doesn't need to. Free tower in mid, free Lord for Onic.
Yeah, he doesn't have the wings by wings, so he doesn't risk it. For Onic Philippines, they find a good team fight. It started off beautifully from Brusco with the flicker, initiating for Onic Philippines, removing the counter engage from Twisted Minds.
I kind of get why they're doing it as well, but they were trying to get as much time or free time for Nausea as much as possible, which did work. They got a tower, but then again, they are losing out on a lot more. Onic also got the Lord, which is a very major objective for this at this point in time.
Yeah, one problem that Twisted has to face, though, is that every objective that Onic takes, it's massive, because there's a Bruno on this side. It's not a Granger, it's not a Claude, it's not a carry. They don't have to win team fights.
You're right.
They just have to cover and zone over the objectives that Kelra wants to take.
Yeah, and you have everything for this Bruno to thrive. Already up to a Malefic Gun, but the Moskov of Nausea is locked in with the Trinity as well. Kirk picking up the Queen's Wings. That has to be a signal for Twisted Minds that they now have to be very careful of this Lapu Lapu. Brusco jumps up in the air, not going to be able to get anyone. And Twisted Minds are slowly getting whittled down. Good zone by Super Prince. Feathered Airstrike stopping Twisted Minds from doing what they want to do in terms of the defense. They will not lose towers just yet.
Yeah, good wave management though from Onic. Immediately cutting the wave on the top side so they don't have to walk with the wave, so they can just stay in front of Twisted's base. And then King Kong is just going to be able to like choose between top lane, mid lane, go for a fight. All the while, the 4 members of Onic, they threaten bot side.
4-1 split. King Kong up top, and Onic are being very disciplined with it. They pop all the holy shields. And now Twisted Minds are really going to have to play from behind and try to find a turnaround.
This is excellent discipline for Onic. Basically, these shields popping off at the same time, you know they have everything calculated almost down to the second here.
Oh, Brusco with a flicker. Tidal Strike Tsunami Slam, but the timing wasn't completely quite right there. Kaloy did force it to use the flicker, though. This looks good for Onic Philippines to find the use to conceal. Brusco does not jump under the tower. King Kong comes behind enemy lines. Kirk is there as well. They're focusing on the tower to immobilize onto King, onto Kirk, but they're going to be able to get away. Twisted Minds will not lose towers.
That's a knockout play from Onic. Even though they didn't get punished, they exhausted the flicker from Brusco.
Oh, slamming down Lansu. The Esmeralda still too tanky though.
Okay.
Twisted Minds holds on yet again, but they are still at a deficit that they need to crawl through.
So it feels like the Twisted Minds know that Onic always just wants to take that team fight, right? They're just having a hard time on like, where do we start? How do we actually start these fights? Obviously, Onic, they're trying to remove Kaloy as soon as possible. But then again, how do you play around that, knowing that Kaloy is the target?
Yeah, problem is you don't even have the reach against the Kalea, especially if Brusco has the flicker, they have more range, and they also have to be worried about the far side. Lanzu has been constant in terms of like finding the backliners on the side of Onic. He's been trying to sustain Super Prince and Keldor as well. But one problem that Twisted has is the Moskov couldn't really fight if Kirk doesn't use the ultimate on another hero. Because if he jumps, the Moskov has to deal with the Lapu first.
Now Onic Philippines want to deal with this Lord. Looks like they'll be able to take this as Tsunami Slam gets locked onto Sensui with his Fredrin, gets melted down, Immortality pops up. King Kong gets the kill onto Kaloy. Kirk gets the kill onto Nausea, and that's a double kill for King Kong. 4 down. Onic completely dominating in this game number 1.
Yeah, they got the Lord, they got the kills. Sensui, he bought Immortality, but that just means he's all alone to defend on the map.
Dude, you saw Super Prince flicker trying to find a Fredrin on the bushes. He knew. It was done. This is well done and dusted.
Yep, this looks like it's it. And Sui gets grabbed yet again. The burst damage. And with no bodies left in the side of Twisted, Onic takes game 1.
Clean and simple.